welcome to Everyday Seminary. I'm so excited that you signed up.
Welcome to the Leader School. I'm so excited that you made the decision to be a part of an academic environment that's going to grow you, challenge you, and make you the best leader you can be.
Hi, we're Jamal and Natasha Miller, the founders of The One University, and we are so excited to personally invite you to our 5-day Pray for Your Future Spouse Challenge.
What's up, Evolutionary Leadership Masterclass? How are you guys tonight?
Jamal.
Listen,
Jamal, we made
are
it.
back. We're back for night
two.
Okay, night 2. What is that? No chest dose?
Dose.
Okay,
Dose.
Night 2.
Yes.
We are back for night 2. We're bilingual here at Leader School. All right.
Really?
Listen, we're super excited about night 2. Night 1 was amazing.
Ridiculous.
It was amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I think we're still all kind of recovering from night 2.
I am.
You know, but
I am.
I mean, from night 1, but night 2 is gonna be even better.
You know, it just keeps getting better. Even from last year to now, it just keeps getting better. I start to sing again, but I'm not. I'm scared, y'all. Okay.
Listen, let us know where you're watching from. You know, we love to see where you are watching from.
Where you're from.
And let us know how excited you are in that comment section. We're in Zoom, we're on Facebook, we see you on YouTube. Let us know. We're watching those comments. I want to read off a couple of comments too. So let us know how excited you are. Give us on a scale of 1 to 10. If you had to describe this in one word, come on, let us know how excited you are about tonight.
Yes, I think I'm a 10 out of 10 for sure.
I'm definitely a 10 out of 10.
I'm a 10 out of 10.
I'm at the point where like the cup is running over.
Over. Might be a 10.5.
That's just after night 1, right? So it's like if you're already at 10 after night 1, where else can you go?
Yes. Well, let's look at where some people are from. We have in the Zoom, hello from Charleston, Memphis, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina. We have some people checking in from Jamaica. Come on. Pastor Harley is from Philadelphia. And we have one more. She had Miss Elena Cooper says, she says she's excited and a bit nervous. I feel you. Yeah, I understand. Because you never know what's going to happen.
Listen, we got some people from North Carolina. We got some people from Philly, Rochester. I see Shreveport, Louisiana, Arizona, Tennessee. Somebody just put, 10 trillion. They own 10 trillion right now after one night. We got Florida in the house, Indianapolis in the house. We are here from all over. And we love to see how excited you guys are because this thing just keeps building.
It does.
It keeps building. With each night we get better and we get better. It's kind of like a good piece of meat that you season up and you let it marinate.
Let it marinate. You sit in the crock pot overnight.
Yeah, overnight you let it sit.
You just let it simmer.
It's not just good after 1 hour, but then hour 2, 3. So
4.
that's how this is. This masterclass just keeps getting better and better. Listen, it is important though that you do not be stingy. Don't be stingy and don't take this.
Don't keep all the meat in the crock pot to yourself.
Don't do this, do this masterclass and have it all to yourself. We want you to share your experience too. We don't want you to simply just share, I'm doing this masterclass, but share your experience as you're in this masterclass, but make sure that you are using the hashtag. Okay, make sure you're using the hashtag. Our hashtag is hashtag Evolutionary Leadership 2021. All right, you see it right here on the screen. So make sure that you use that hashtag so that we can follow your post. We don't want to, we don't want your post to just get lost out there. We want to be able to read your post.
Exactly.
We want to see your stories. We want to see what's going on. And again, don't just be like, hey, y'all, I'm taking this class with Dr. Stevenson. No, tell those stories.
Yes.
Tell those stories.
Tell us how it's impacting you.
That hashtag. Now, the importance of those stories, though, it helps us to really kind of see where you're at and what you're getting out of this.
Yes, because we actually do care about you. And that hashtag also helps us locate people who we might just want to give away some swag to.
Listen, because the swag is a very important part.
It is. It is. It's like we said last night. It's like that Jordan jersey.
Exactly.
You just want to hang it up and
you get that thing
on your
framed.
wall.
You get that thing.
Get it framed and say I was there. Okay.
Absolutely. The swag that we're giving away this year is something that has been a hot hot commodity. I mean, people have been asking for this for since last masterclass.
Right.
And we weren't able to do it last year, but we have been able to do it this year. So let's take a look real
We're
quick.
we're gonna show off
Let's
again.
take a look at this swag here. You know, like we said it's that premium cotton.
Come on.
You know, looking good.
Come on with the gold.
I mean, you could do a lot of things with this.
You can put, you know what, ladies, we can wear this with a skirt, a good pair of
nice
pants.
Skirt. You know, put a little nice, some pearls.
Pearls, Jamal.
Some nice pearls go to with the white to go to really. Make
what about some diamonds? We need some real drip.
I thought the pearls was gonna make the white pop.
That's a little
y'all.
churchy. We're not gonna do pearls, Jamal. We're not gonna do pearls. Maybe a gold chain to complement
a nice
the
gold chain. Okay.
On the side.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen. This right here is revolutionary. This is the evolutionary. This is revolutionary because this is the first shirt that we are doing. So we also though we gave some away last night, but we told y'all every night
we giving away shirts.
Every night we're giving away shirts. So tonight we have us a winner. All right. I hope y'all ready. Y'all ready for this?
Yes.
Can you go ahead and announce who our winner is for tonight?
Our winner tonight is Mr. AJ Young. Okay.
Congratulations,
on. Sir.
Congratulations
for sharing that hashtag and winning your shirt.
If you're in the comment section, go ahead and congratulate AJ.
Clap it up for him.
AJ got some new swag on the way. All right, AJ.
Right.
So make sure you follow the instructions on the screen. Go ahead and email that email address so we can make sure that we get you your swag. If you don't, we gonna keep it. I'm sorry, we don't know where to send it. You know, we got to keep it. So make sure that you shoot an email to that email address so that we can get you your swag. All right.
Yes.
Listen, now that's just one thing, though.
That's just one thing we got going on. This Masterclass is so good.
Listen,
it's so good.
That's just one thing because last night we announced something else.
Yeah, we did.
Couple people was a little salty.
Couple people was a little salty from last year, but it really is okay though because we got you. It's all an even playing field this year. Okay.
Yes.
So who can tell me what we're about to talk about? Because we got some awards that we want to kind of give out.
Yeah.
And at the end of this 3-day masterclass, we are giving away awards, but we've already kind of been peeping game.
We've been looking because
we told them we've been watching. We told y'all.
Yes.
We told y'all we'd be watching you. So let's talk about some potential leader awards that we want to give away. But let's talk about the categories first. Our first category, of course, is class scribe. This is the person who is taking
the best notes. Now listen, last night we had some contenders. Okay, last night
y'all came out knocking.
Listen, I was going through that Facebook group and there were so many people with some amazing notes.
Yes.
And you know what I loved? I loved seeing how everybody took away something, a little bit different. You know how sometimes when you're looking at people's notes, you can kind of see how they're processing the information.
Right.
So I loved seeing like the same points, but seeing different people's perspectives and views and all that good stuff. It was beautiful to see that in those notes. I loved it. So y'all went crazy on them notes.
On the notes. So we had a lot of people said who wanted to win class scribe, but we had one woman in particular.
Oh man.
Crystal Robinson. Now, the woman, this lady, her notes, first of all, Crystal, she hand wrote her notes, posted pictures for us to see in the Facebook group. And then inside of Crystal's notes,
what she do?
She has drawings in the notes.
Crystal.
And Crystal, y'all, on one of Crystal's notes, y'all, Crystal has a drawing of Dr. Matthew Stevenson's green jacket.
She drew the suit.
She drew the man of God suit.
Now, Krista is coming for y'all, okay? Krista said, I'm finna doodle, I'm finna draw, I'm finna take my notes, I'm doing everything. I'm going above beyond. And listen, she also, there was one part in the notes where there was a comment about masks, and she literally drew a mask in the notes. So there literal doodles all over the notes.
She drew some boxing gloves.
But listen, it's the fact that she hand wrote them bad boys.
She did.
That is the important part because, appreciate your digital, appreciate your Microsoft Word,
your
PDF and your Google Doc. That's easy. But Crystal said, I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it back old school. I'm going to take that
number 2 pen.
Listen, I'm going to take that pen and paper out. So that's very important. And, it's actually statistically proven that you retain more information when you write things down.
Wow.
And again, that's why last night we were telling you, have that notebook, have that workbook, print that workbook
Print your workbook out.
And
use your good ink.
Listen, write out those answers and follow along with those notes. So Crystal showed out last night, but she wasn't the only one.
Nah. We got some more people.
She was not the only one last night that showed out with the note taking, because we also caught somebody else also caught our eye, which was Nicholas Jackson. And he actually had a running doc.
Nicholas has a ClickUp.
Yes, he does.
That's the name. That's an app, but it's a running document of the notes, so that to make things easier for the other Leader School students in the community, all you have to do is just go in there and click, and it's a running document. So you don't have to keep searching and searching and searching for what it's going to say. So shout out to Nicholas G. Jackson for.
And he also has some amazing notes on the point that got both of us.
Which was what, Jamal?
The trauma of trying. I mean, he had some amazing notes, and you guys can go and find him on his post. And just like I said, click that link. You know, all of his notes are right there. But he had some amazing notes on the trauma of trying. And me and you talked about that last night, because that was the one that hit us the most.
We was just sitting there like, you just don't know what to say.
That was the one hitting us the most. And so he had some great notes there. So listen, remember, these are just potentials. These are people that caught our eye.
Just potentials.
If you're going after that Class Scribe Award, you know, make sure that you still are consistent with your note taking, because you know we ain't done. You still got 2 nights. You got tonight, you got tomorrow. All right. So don't get discouraged, like, oh man, you know, they did so good. No, let this encourage you. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that creativity. We're looking for people that go above and beyond, people that will catch our eye. And so those are some people that caught our eye for that Class Scribe Award, but they weren't the only ones that caught our eye.
So we do have another category of award that we said that we would be giving away, and that's the Neighbor Award. Yes. Now, the Neighbor Award is the award for the persons or people who are really making it their business to be friendly.
Yes.
To foster community, to post comments, to respond to people, to share things, to like things. And so we actually allowed Facebook to kind of do the work for us, because we didn't want to be biased. And that's a lot of comments to count. It is 30,000 of y'all. Shout out to this masterclass in this group. So listen, we have a few people, Jamal. Read off some names of some people who we are kind of looking at, because we see how much they are commenting and sharing.
Listen, like Alexa said, we went straight to Facebook. We said we're gonna get the official numbers for y'all. Okay. So our top three contributors so far, we have Jacqueline Cornelius.
Yes.
Carolyn McKinley and Patrice LaShawn Timms. Okay, these three ladies have been commenting, they've been posting, they've been sharing, they've been liking, and Facebook has been tracking that, and we're seeing that they are the most communal. They are the ones that are talking the most, they're liking the most, they're posting the most, and they are making sure that they're engaged in the group. So those three ladies, listen, congratulations to you guys for doing that. Keep it up. And if you're like, man, I still got 2 nights, you still got 2 nights to get those comments in, get those posts in, comment on people's posts, share people's posts, share this broadcast, do whatever you need to do so that we can make sure that we're tracking you and that we see what you're doing. Now, again, remember, these are just potentials. These are just potentials. And we also, you know, we have not forgot, though, we still also have our Rising Leader Award. Now, remember, that person, we're looking at everything. Okay?
The best all around.
We're looking at everything. So we still looking. We ain't seen no potential. Night one. It's only night one. We've only
done night one.
So we're
gonna be fair.
We still looking. We ain't want to, you know, all around. So if you're looking for that Rising Leader Award, we still got our eyes out for you. But those are just some potentials just to get you a little riled up, get you a little excited about those awards.
Yes. Now, Jamal, we have something very different for this year, and that is homework. And we have been tracking and keeping track of and looking at who has done their homework. We want to do some recap and some looking at some students who have like really showed us the homework. And a point of emphasis here, y'all, it's not just enough to post the badge and say, hey, I did my homework. Y'all, that was great. Let's get it. But we really want to hear, how is that homework impacting and changing your story, your life? Because just from night one, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at some of this homework, some comments that we have, because what we want to know is, how has the homework impacted you?
Yeah. Listen, if you did your homework last night, we want for you to go ahead and let us know in the comment section. Let us know how that impacted you. If you completed your homework, just go ahead and let us know so we can shout you out that you did your homework. Because listen, this homework was meant to take you to the next level. It was meant to take that information to the next level. Because like we said last night, sometimes we just get the stuff and it's just there. You know, we listen and it's like, okay, or we take our notes, it's okay. But we don't really process that information and take it deeper. So if you did your homework, let us know in the comments. Somebody said, okay, all right, we got Takia Rogers did their homework. Marie Ming did their homework. Let's see who else I'm seeing here. Oh my God, you guys are going fast in this.
Yeah, tell us how it impacted you. Like we have Addie Trevino in Zoom. She's saying the homework helped me write down and process my truth.
Wow. Listen, that is heavy. That's the point of it. That is the point of it.
Yes.
Jeanette on Facebook said, just reading the questions was impactful. I mean, just going through the like just looking at them questions really kind of, because you're like, wait, hold up. I never even thought about that, you know? And so somebody, I mean, we got Duncan said that he needed that count increase. He said he had too much to give. He had too much information.
Oh, we saw so many students saying that there was not enough characters for me to write down everything that's happening. It's okay. It is okay.
We have Takia Stuckey says that homework was a whole praise break. That sent her to a whole thing.
Yes, because you're having to process not just how the pain made you stuck, but how did you gain your power from it? Yeah. And so you really get to look back and go, God, you brought me over. I'm so excited. Thank you. Wow. So we have Nicole Moroka. She said it helped me reflect on my strengths and how I overcame some powerful and painful circumstances.
Wow. I'm seeing here, Victorious here said that the homework was very thought-provoking and allowed me to reflect on the situation that caused me pain and allowed me to realize my worth. Listen, this homework is not just homework for homework's sake. This is meant to help you understand why you are doing this. You are not in this masterclass just because you saw a video or you saw a picture and you thought it'd be cool, but you are in this masterclass because it is necessary for your future. It is necessary for your leadership, and it is necessary for you. And we're seeing that with this homework. These people are blessed by this homework.
And I am, Nicole Moroka says, thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. Yes, girl. Yes, that was the grace. But listen, like doing this homework, because we said that we are doing this journey with you. For me, it reminded me of the time where I was a leader school student last year, and the masterclass opens the door to leader school. And when I tell you, being a student, I will never forget the very first module we did, and we talked about, processing our trauma. And then we talked about Native abilities and parents. And one of the most beautiful things that I began to see was how I was stuck in an area where I had served before. I was a leader. I had a very high profile position in a church. I was on staff. I was getting paid. But some things happened where it left me stuck. And that first module brought me back to that place and helped me process through all of that grief, because I did not realize how much you can grieve work positions, not just stuff in life, not just like personal things, but even things that happen to you in your job and your career, they're all impacting your potential.
It's amazing. And it's beautiful seeing your perspective as a former student going through that content, because I really want for you all to know that we have countless testimonies like Alexis's from leader school. I was a leader school coach, and it was beautiful to see people from day one, and as they journeyed through the information, literally to see them blossom. One of the most beautiful things for me to see. And again, we're in this masterclass. You're gonna love this masterclass, but this is only like
it's the tease.
It really is, because we one of the most beautiful things for me was seeing people as we journey through the content, seeing them give testimonials of, man, I went into work, I applied these principles, and my boss gave me a new position or a raise. Or for people to know, hey, I used to hate going to work because I did not deal with these issues I had with my boss. Leader School has helped me to love going back to work. I've forgiven my boss. I've forgiven my coworkers. So it's not always just about the raise and the new job or whatever the case may be, but we really hit on that internal stuff. And I think last last night you were able to see with the power of pain. I mean, he hit right here.
Right. If you weren't prepared, you just got the wind knocked out your chest. Because
exactly. we came in thinking we was gonna get strategies on meetings, how to conduct a meeting,
right, and time management,
how to manage your time. No,
we talking about you.
Exactly,
right.
exactly. And I think that it was a good precursor for the more that you guys will experience. Don't worry about it. We'll get more into that. But you definitely got a good taste of it last night. And tonight you're gonna get another taste of it as well with this masterclass, because it is definitely going to blow your socks off. This is listen. I'm still loving a lot of these comments here, because I mean, Facebook is going in about how this homework has blessed them, and I love to see it, because if you didn't do your homework, I want you to see the benefits of this homework.
Do your homework.
Someone here, I just found. Okay, Leona said the homework helped me uncover a pain that has been buried for over 20 years. Watch this, y'all. She said, I think I can finally forgive my mother. Listen,
wow.
I know y'all thought that y'all was just coming to leader school to become a better leader, but this is really doing a work in people. And I think that we're going to see the benefit of seeing better leaders in the world because of it.
And I think we're in the season in time in our world where our world really does need better leadership.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at where we are as a country, as a nation, as a world. Could we not get a fresh new batch of leaders, please?
Yeah.
Be in our world, our government, our school systems, our teachers, everyday life, not just in church, but in so many sectors. We need people to deal with their pain, deal with their trauma, and become well-rounded people and become better leaders. Jamal,
I love this. Geraldine Logan, she says that Leader School, like not just a masterclass, but Leader School helped her grow exponentially. She talks about how it helped her grow exponentially, and she had a lot of healing, and she said she was able to enter rooms with confidence and humilities. All right. So listen, this is a benefit to you. This masterclass is a benefit to you. You being able to grow and see so many different things occur and happen in your life simply because you've committed to these days. And listen, you've committed to each day.
Day one,
day two, and day three.
Yes. Listen, we have some more comments coming in from Zoom. And we have William Jones. He said, I sat at my table for about 30 to 45 minutes once everything was over, processing everything. William, I understand. I was just sitting there, just looking at the wall.
Just sitting there, not knowing what to do.
Right. Just shaking your head.
I love it.
We have another comment from Ken Alston Jr. He says, the homework also shows us that therapy is needed. You cannot unearth some of these pain points without having some direction to help the pain be utilized into power. Wow. That is an amazing comment. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about writing your notes and taking them down. Absolutely. Is that you can take them back to a licensed therapist if you need to, your pastor, whomever, and say, hey, I'm in this wonderful masterclass in this program like Leader School that's showing me my pain, and I need some more help processing this.
Absolutely. It's got me thinking about things that I need to further process through this.
Right.
I missed your name. I'm so sorry, but I just saw a comment where someone said that Leader School helped, or this masterclass has helped her to see that she actually has grown more than she thought she did.
Yeah.
And I think that's another beautiful thing about this masterclass, is that sometimes
we don't give ourselves enough credit.
Yeah, sometimes we get bogged down and we can only focus on the negative or the things that are bad. But she said it actually helped me see that I've grown a bit. So I'm super excited about that. Listen, I hope you guys are excited. Reading those stories got me excited.
Got me hyped.
I hope y'all are excited, because it is that time.
It's time. Y'all ready?
It's that time.
Ready.
I hope you guys are ready for night 2. We are ready for night 2. Night 1 was amazing, right?
Night 2 is going to be mind-blowing.
We said we came in the door 10 out of 10.
Right.
So if we came in the door after night 1, 10 out of 10.
We're just going to overflow.
We're going to overflow tonight. So I'm super excited. But before we get into that, we want to remind you, come back for the post show. Come back for the post show, okay? And we want to make sure that you don't forget about the post show, because we give some very important information. We give some very important homework information, and
we have homework for night 2. And we are giving away more gifts in the post show.
We got more gifts. We do not forget about them gifts. Them gifts are important, okay? And them gifts are an opportunity for us to show you that we are watching and that we care about you. All right, we care about you guys, because we understand that this stuff is a little heavy.
A little? You just gonna say that word, Jamal? It's a little heavy.
We understand that this stuff is a little heavy, okay? It's a little heavy.
He being nice.
And the least we could do is give you a little something, okay?
Give you something.
Give you something. So
we can't pass out leaders, masterclass tissues. We would,
I wish we could.
Yes.
Part of me does wish that we were in person.
Yes. So we could just pass out tissue boxes because we know it's gonna hit you in your chest.
And we can come and just pat you on your back.
Pat you on your back.
We would have volunteers. If we were in person, we would have volunteers who just they come pat you on your back.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay, baby.
It's okay. It's okay. We hitting on some stuff, So, but as you guys are going through tonight, do not forget to use that hashtag. Okay, use that hashtag tonight so that we know that you guys are in tune, that you guys are listening, that you guys are watching. Now, listen. Last night we went from 30,000 people registered to 35,000 people.
Oh, y'all sold out.
Yes, we
Bring
did.
your friends.
Yes, we did. So make sure that tonight, you guys do the same thing.
Keep sharing. It's not too late.
Let people know. They still can come into this masterclass because, again, we got our replays.
Right.
You can watch our replays, so you can make sure that, so even if somebody does come in, they can watch the replay of last night. They still got a little bit of time. We got a couple minutes before we get started tonight. So hurry up, get on in here. So you can get to Matthew Stevenson. But if they don't, then they can still catch the replay from the night. We got tomorrow night. So it is never too late for somebody to come and be a part.
It's never too late
of this. No,
it's never too late.
Get on up in here.
Listen,
if we was able to go from 30,000
to 35,000 in one night,
come on, we can do some more.
We can do some more.
I know cousin Pookie.
You know cousin Pookie, Ray, Black Man, Shaniqua, Peaches, and
all them. Tell them get up in this masterclass. Grandma, come on. I know grandma.
Yes.
Grandma done
Tell
learned.
that person at work that kind of get on your nerves that you want to put them in some leadership training to help them be a nice person.
Absolutely. Grandma done learned how to use Zoom by now. She can
really?
figure it out. She can figure it out.
You think she can figure it out?
Some of y'all.
At least YouTube.
At least YouTube. Okay,
yes.
that's
not Zoom. Maybe YouTube, because all she got to do is just click a link. That's all she got to do.
Because we on all three. We on Facebook, we on Zoom, we on YouTube. So make sure you're sharing this as well, because we're super, super excited about that. But again, we want you to come back for that post show, because that post show is very important. We give out that homework information. If you missed the post show last night, we literally went through the questions.
Right, for homework for night one.
Yeah, so we don't just give it to you and be like, hey, go do
have at
it. But we read through those questions and we let you guys know how to get through those questions. So make sure you come back from that for that post show, because it's very, very, very important.
We will have homework tonight.
We will have homework tonight. So day 2 has homework. Day 3 will have homework. So make sure you come back for that post show. Now, Alexis,
Jamal,
I hear that Dr. Stevenson is ready to
He's
go.
He's in the bullpen.
He's ready to go.
Locked and loaded.
We ready. Now, I know you ready. So make sure, remember last night we gave y'all the things to do. Make sure you got that notebook.
Your notebook printed.
You got that pen.
You got your pen.
All right, you got something. You got a notepad.
You got your door locked.
Lock that door.
The kids is with the babysitter.
Okay? Get focused and make sure that you are ready for this masterclass. Before we go into the masterclass, though, before we go into Dr. Stevenson, we want to watch a replay from night one.
If you don't understand the power of pain, yours and other people's, then you lose the most important weapon you and I have in evolutionary leadership: authenticity.
We have over 30,000 people. Over 30,000 people signed up for this masterclass. And so we're super excited that you all are a part of this masterclass.
We're going to allow for an environment for these next 3 days for you to measure your relational, academic, leadership depth, to try to see how to deploy you to achieve some of the greatest things you've ever desired in your life. Being a part of the hood and growing up in those settings, one of the things that every young man has to do is learn to fight. I know that's funny. It doesn't seem like leadership to you, but I want you to know now, even before we navigate into these next 2 days, leadership demands a fight. Have you ever thought about what it takes to do what nobody before you did? Have you ever really conceptualized what happens to you when you're the first in a family environment or in a neighborhood environment to break a mold and to break a barrier of achievement? There's no such thing as applaud or support or understanding because you're venturing out, you're roaming out into a space that is unknown. If you're not authentic, you're not reliable. You're going to max out in who you are and how you can offer the world around you. Let's deal with pain, speak to pain, learn to hear it, and we'll bring the best out of our purpose and the people that are around us.
Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Evolutionary Leadership Masterclass Night 2. Yesterday, we had a powerful beginning to a conversation about the changing and ever-evolving conversation of leadership, and I'm so proud of the thousands of you that tuned in and shared and were a part of our deliberating on this subject. It's a critical thing, it's timely, and what excites me most is that there was young, old, black, white, there were people of different socioeconomic statuses that were a part of our conversation yesterday. And I'm so excited that so many of you have decided to come back and share again. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for your willingness to commit to yourself. I don't think people realize how important it is to commit to yourself in this way, particularly in the times that we are in. So thank you so very much. Also, for those of you that did your homework, I was so inspired to see that hundreds of people, by the time we were done with production last night, they were done with their homework and they were already writing out their lessons and their thoughts and the principles that came to fore. And they were really being challenged by that. And that's my job. The whole intent of the Evolutionary Leadership Masterclass is to challenge you. I don't feel like I'm effective if I'm not challenging whatever is around me. And so I want you challenged. I want you feeling like it's urgent and it's incumbent upon you to go somewhere and to grow somewhere that you've never been before. So shout out to all of you that did your homework. Don't be stingy with it. Share it. Let your family, your friends, your loved ones know what you've been thinking about and make it a part of the conversation. A major part of my educational philosophy is continuing the conversation. What that means is that once you've learned something and once you conceptualize something, keep it going. A part of what that does is that reiteration allows you to unfold deeper wisdom, deeper insights on the subject. It's powerful. So I want you to continue that conversation and make sure at the close of tonight's discussion that you do your homework again. It's going to be extremely adventurous for very many of you, but I'm excited and I'm confident that you'll get her done. Okay, I want to do some work tonight, and what I'm going to do is do a brief recap of where we were last night, and I'm going to help you to mentally relate and connect where we were last night to where we're going tonight. This is one sentence over the 3 days that we're spending together. It is a thought, it is a philosophy, but I want to use this word and I want you to define this if you're taking notes. It is a paradigm. As we've spoken before, the subject of leadership is an evolving paradigm. And in 20 years, we'll talk about it differently. In 50 years, we'll talk about it differently. But today we're talking about it in the context of our culture and our society and what we're facing right now. One of the things you have to realize, and one of the things that I think is extraordinarily significant for us to start with, is education, academics are no longer what they used to be. As a byproduct of the drastic change in our world and in our society, there is still a very high premium and a high value for education and knowledge and information and credentialing and certification and verification and authorization. But our approach to it is a lot different. There are more creative opportunities to learn, to grow. There are companies and there are organizations that are hiring based upon what people are able to do, not necessarily the degrees or the letters that are before or after the name. Now, while I am a huge advocate of traditional institutionalized learning, I think that we have an unusual opportunity right now to pursue other venues and other opportunities for learning and growth that will catapult you in your career or in your success in your life as a human being. So let's take this as a serious opportunity and a serious moment that won't always be here. We won't always be recovering from a pandemic, and we won't always be recovering from a global shutdown. What we're doing right now is taking an aggressive advantage of what is for many of us the diametric antithesis of what we had hoped would be. And we're leaning into the opposite, finding the opportunity. Let's do some work. All right. If you don't know, I spent a tremendous amount and still do of time in education, in training, in development. And that was not my intended career. I was intending to go into law, but I ended up, for convenience sake, going into education and policy development. And I learned a lot of things while in my tenure in the public and private sectors in education. But I'm gonna tell you, I learned a couple of things that's going to matter to you to understand and embrace what I'm going to teach you tonight. Number one, the first thing I learned when I started doing educational practitioner work was teaching people was not hard at all. Nah, developing the curriculum, developing the notes, standing in front of them, lecturing, giving oratory or being a rhetorician, none of that was as complicated as confronting what they thought they already knew. What I mean by that is the most complicated part of any education and any training is not the introduction of new material. It is the offense of the new material to what is currently held as a belief, a standard, or a pillar. So when you stand in front of anybody to teach or to educate them and to help them to matriculate through a series or a body of information, you're kind of in a conflict, not with their appetite and their desire to know more, but with their security in what they thought they already knew. So teaching is not the hard thing. It's unlearning and aiding and inspiring and helping people in the unlearning process. You understand that in order to effectively learn, honestly learn, authentically learn, you've got to unlearn first. That's number two. The second thing is powerful, historic. Many of you are watching me and you're going to think that I'm being inflammatory. You're going to think I'm being ostentatious, braggadocious. I'm not. I have figured out the hardest thing for any person to do. You heard me right. I'm talking about moms, dads, husbands, wives, executives, athletes, pastors, artists, actors, politicians. I'm talking about everybody that is taking responsibility in any industry, in any field. I'm not even just talking about those that have set at their core focus to be the subject matter expert at something. I'm talking about anybody that has dared to just engage in a sector of society. I'm also talking about those that have found a level of contentment with just managing and maintaining their homes and their home lives. I'm talking about everybody watching me today. I know from this chair, from this room, the hardest thing for you to do. In my experience, I have never met a person that did not struggle with learning how to become. Learning to become. Not learning to type or read or write or present or express or to articulate, but learning to become. As we start to talk about the problem with potential, what we're dealing about is, or what we're dealing with are the necessary rudiments and principles that it takes to become. And it takes a lot to become. A lot of conversations, a lot of exposure, a lot of willingness, a lot of posture changing, a lot of adventure, a lot of risks, a lot of disappointments, a lot of excitements, but becoming is a science. And what we're doing tonight is we're dealing with what it actually takes for everybody to become. I entitled this conversation and lecture, The Problem with Potential, because the truth is there is a problem with how we conceptualize the subject matter of potential. First of all, if we're going to develop a working definition for what potential is, for the sake of our discussion tonight, I want you to use this definition of it. Potential is invisible ability. I'll repeat that. Potential is invisible ability. If I'm going to give you a B definition, potential is unprovable skill. Unprovable skill. It's unvetted. Sure, it exists. Yes, we know it's there. But until it materializes and physicalizes, it's not ready to become tempered and to do what all potential should do, which is to change your profitability. I'll share more about that later. So for working template of our conversation on the subject of potential, we're going to use the idea and the understanding that it is invisible ability. Potential is invisible ability. Now, if we're going to connect the ideas of learning to become, then what we're going into is the understanding that everyone watching me around the world, we all know that we have invisible ability. And what that means is there are things, desires, skill lengths, skill ranges, skill depths, creative ranges, creative depths that we all have within us. But the real question and the real conflict comes in is when you and I have a hard discussion about why they are still invisible and what can be done with an ability that is not seen. Sure, it's known, sure, it's felt, sure, it's heard, but it's not particularly seen. Now, if we're going to deepen this discussion, whenever I'm dealing with people on the subject of potential, I like to start the conversation with asking them this. Number one, what are you willing to lose? Because the more we engage around the subject of invisible ability, it is inevitable that you have to lose something, listen, in order to live in defense of your potential. Because potential is one of those things that you never want to lose. But the problem with us that we're going to find out as we deepen this discussion is many of us are inspired by the concept of potential, but we have severe commitment issues that lends us up with not being able to make full use of the abilities that are within us. What are you willing to lose? Number one. Number two, what are you willing to go without? Because the real truth is one of the practical ways to start to commit to potential is you have to do what others are unwilling to do. You have to do what others are unwilling to do. Now, I know that sounds very simple, and I know that sounds like self-help and life coaching, but it's really not. It's not fun to be up late at night where everybody's getting beauty rest and beauty sleep. It's not fun having to wake up before the sun to meet deadlines and to train and to engage and to learn. It's not fun having to live up to the standard, listen, of my knowledge of what is in me, because here's the real truth. If I am not committed to my own potential, parenthetically speaking, my own invisible ability, I should never anticipate, hope that anybody else will. You see, what magnetizes the coaches, the books, the information, the draw, the hunger to develop whatever is in me, I have to value it first. That way, I develop an accurate barometer for who does not value it and who's not worth it. So now I see a contiguous point here, which is if I'm going to deal with and train and vet and deliberately heighten my pain tolerance, then it's probably going to mean that after I've done that, I'm going to change in my influence level. But then if I'm doing that, then it means that I'm going to be growing in my level of potential, invisible ability. What that means scientifically, psychologically, is I have more in me to do than what I've done. I have greater abilities in me than what I've seen. I have greater optimal things and optics and aesthetics that are in me, that are around me, that I can use to impact and influence people. But here is the challenge. The challenge and the problem with the knowledge of potential is that sometimes my knowledge of it creates a complacency. It creates a source of plateau. And the reason you need to know this is because all potential begins, the genesis of it is identity. In order for me to conceptualize, measure, investigate my level of potential and where it is and what it can do, I've got to start with at least a basic knowledge of who I am. Because if I don't, then I'm going to make the mistake of living and building and investing and studying as if I am what I do. And the problem with that is that's not identity, that's function. And when you're thinking about your career, when you're thinking about your commitments and your time investments, it's very easy to commit yourself to the roles you play to other people. But drum roll, please. Startling announcement, Amber Alert. In order for this message to mean anything to you, I need you to do something for me right now. Take off your title, take off your role. I can't do anything for your potential if you're listening to me as a this or as a that. I need to be able to deal with who you are, because that's where potential begins. Potential does not begin at the job description, at the salary range, at the designation or the letters, but it begins at none of that. It begins with who you are and your knowledge of the fact that there's still so much more in you. I think when people have accurate assessment or an adequate assessment of their potential, changing your salary is easy. Finding multiple streams of income is easy. Looking for opportunities to help and to heal and to alter the world around you is very easy. But the real truth is, if you have an identity crisis for whatever the reasons are, you're never going to be able to thoroughly and passionately grab a hold of your knowledge of the potential. And if you can't grab a hold of your knowledge of your potential, you won't be able to do the most important thing to it, which is commit to it. So if the beginning place of understanding my potential is a knowledge, a cursory knowledge of my identity. Dr. Stevenson, why does it need to be cursory or preliminary? Because your knowledge of yourself is going to evolve as you mature, as you grow. And the real truth is, you should not be who you were 4 or 5 years ago. If you're listening to me and you are the exact same way you used to be, you listen to things in the same way, you receive things the same way, if there's been no change in your life and no evolution in your life, you're going to be limited in how you can impact people, because here's the real truth. Changed people change the world. If you're somebody that resists change, even in your own personal life, you lack the capacity to change the worlds of others around you in your career, in your service, in your product, in your program, in your vision. And so adapting the change model is the entire conversation of potential, because if you're committed to potential, you are committed to always changing. One of the most dangerous things someone could say if they're trying to devote themselves to invisible ability is, this is just how I am. It's like a prison sentence. It's a death decree. What you've done is you've limited people to anticipate that you're ever going to be anything other than what you are. What if the caterpillar looks at the cocoon and says, this is just how I am? What if the dog that has need of a necessary shed for the season change looks at the carpet around it and refuses to do what is genetically natural and encoded in him, which is to change? What if he looks at it and says, this is just how I am? And the problem is, if we don't deal with what we talked about yesterday, we're going to want people to accept us so much in our current phase, in our current state, as we are right now, that we won't be challenged and invigorated. But I also want to use this word, provoked enough to commit to our potential. I think that's the problem with many of us. We've not had provocative conversations. I think we understand the value of supportive conversations. I think we understand the value of affirming conversations. Some of us even have the appreciation and a love for conversations that encourage and inspire and motivate. But how many of us can really say we enjoy being provoked? We enjoy those type of sentences and words that says, hey, there's so much more in you than what you're being right now. You have the ability to finish projects. You have the ability to commit to what you said you were going to do. You have the ability to excel and advance beyond your societal statistical norms. You have the ability to break barriers and records and stand against the idioms that try to stigmatize who you are and what you bring to the world stage and the word platform. There is more in you, but why aren't we seeing it? Because the real truth is, if step 1 is identity, step 2 is the leverage. It's the door. It's the link to all potential. The secret to engaging potential is this: if you are unwilling to learn and continue in your learning passion and appetite, what you've basically done is you've communicated to your potential, parenthetically, your invisible ability, I am not committed to you. Now listen, here's something fun to consider. You cannot be in any leadership, managerial, supervisory position in your house, in your company, in your college, in your church, if you have unresolved commitment issues. Now, I know that kind of sounds romantic, and it kind of sounds like I'm dealing with the subject of relationship, and I am. But the subject of this type of relationship I'm talking about is you versus you. How committed are you to you? If you're writing notes, and I hope that you are, because that's what all great leaders do, I want you to write this down. I am my responsibility. I am my responsibility. One last time, just for the simple principle of reiteration. I am my responsibility. Now, what I mean by that is this. If nobody walks up to me and says, you look like a this, you could be good at a that, you should be doing more of this. If nobody ever does that, we need to see that those statements and those conversations and those affirmations and those commendations, they're swimming pools, they're fireplaces. What do you mean, Dr. Stevenson? Those are life amenities. They are not life necessities. And you need to make up in your mind tonight. You're not to go into tomorrow with this same mentality that you have now. Tonight, you have to make up in your mind that if nobody approaches me to escort and journey with me into the broad world of my potential, I'm committed to myself. So I'm going to read books whether people tell me to or not. I'm going to engage programs whether people say I should or not. I'm going to employ the law of exposure and be in rooms and start to listen to speeches and lectures. I'm going to do what other people think is boring and not exciting, because I don't live my life for excitement. I live my life for endurance. If I live my life just in the realm of excitement, I run the risk of living at the end of my life with regret, because I never did anything to engage the me you don't see. So if the starting point is identity, the way I unlock my potential is by learning skill and learning depth and learning environments and worlds. You know, people often mock me for being a professional student. I love to learn, and I'm learning all the time. I'm learning by observation. I'm learning by research. I'm learning by hearing. I'm learning by study, which seems to be a forgotten skill in today's culture, because we almost have a culturally induced attention disorder, where if something takes too much commitment and too much effort and too much stillness, we don't want to do it. But here's a problem. The cost and the expense of your potential is what you think is convenient. Nobody is going to be able to thoroughly commit to their invisible ability if they're addicted to convenience. And I think that some of you are not where you could be, either in your skill range, your creative range, your leadership range, your vocal range, your influential range, because you like convenience. And here's why. The deceptive implication is that convenience is safe, and it's not. It's just comfortable. But you have to be willing to do an uncomfortable thing to reach an invisible ability. It's so important that you realize that. I'm going to say something that I hope shatters a paradigm in your mind and in your thought. I'm going to tell you this. The most powerful parts of who you are: CEO, COO, CFO, manager, mommy, daddy, sister, brother, creative director, artistic director, music minister, whatever your role is, the most powerful parts of you are the parts that we can't see. Sink in the fact that meeting you as you are is meeting you mid-story. Your external self, your projected self, your crafted self, your polished self. But that's not the most potent you. The most potent you is that series and set of invisible abilities that we are all waiting to see manifest. That's the endurance in your career, and that's the longevity. That's your guarantee to promotion. People who are not committed to their own potential will never be promoted. Listen to what I'm trying to teach you. Committing to your own potential is the secret to promotion, because once a superior, a boss, a mentor, a coach looks at you and sees that there is a passionate, bloodthirsty, undistracted commitment to your own greatest you, and that your best competition or your most passionate competition is not against the alternates and the opponents and the other audiences, it's against what you know you have the ability to do. And when you say, on your mark, get ready, get set, go, you're not talking to anybody but your last version of yourself. When a superior looks at you and sees that, they take note. And what they do is they say, hey, I see a future in that skill. I see longevity in that role. If you're really committed to your potential, I know executives, leaders, visionaries, philanthropists that will look at somebody that has that mentality and has that discipline, and they will create work. I'm one of them. I have literally found work for those type of people to do. So you create your security, not just in your career and not just in your organization, but in your life by refusing to give up on you. Now, you don't have to be depressed and you don't have to be sad to have given up on yourself. It's as simple as not finishing the book you said you were going to read. It's as simple as not following up on that evaluation from that mentor, that tutor, or that coach. It's as simple as deciding that you would much rather go on vacation than go to a seminar. It's as simple as deciding that you would much rather invest your money on things that you can't even see. You don't keep receipts for the shoes or the clothes or any of that, but you didn't think it was useful to financially invest in what you know. The problem with this is this. The white elephant in the room as we have this discussion about potential is that ignorance really is bliss. My challenge to you tonight is that what you don't know is hurting you. It's affecting you. And not being able to show up as your best self in every moment, in every room, and in every space is limiting your range and your accessibility, but most importantly, your impact. My goal for you, certainly, I'd love for you to have a 401k. I'd love for you to have stocks and bonds. And I'd love for you to have it said that after you went to the Leadership Masterclass, that you were able to advance in your career and move up and you grew. But what I really want for you is impact. What I want for you, however grim or gory it sounds, is a full funeral. I don't want you at the end of your time on earth to have the awful legacy of having 5 to 6 people at your funeral service talking about how good your pie was. No. I want people talking about how you influenced them. You interrupted them. When they came in contact with a conversation with you, your wisdom, your advice intercepted them, that you changed them and moved them out of a trajectory or a path of danger or deception or immaturity. And that without meeting you or talking to you or knowing you, that their children's children will not benefit from you. I want you to have impact. And if you say you're a leader, your bottom line should be impact. It's not just the ability to persuade and convince and influence and sell. It's about impact. I want to be able to shape, to mold, to cultivate the way people see their world. In whatever world I can do it, in whatever role I can do it, whether it's a corner office on Wall Street, whether it's a matinee or a movie, whether it's acting or whether it's singing, I want to be able to say that the way you saw life and the way you saw culture, but most importantly, the way you saw yourself was dramatically changed because of an encounter with me. How do we get there? What do we do? I'm glad you asked. If the beginning part of potential is my identity, an understanding of myself, a sober, healthy acknowledgement of myself, a realization and a conscious sobriety about my blind spots. Now, let me just give you this. A blind spot, basically, if you're learning to drive, is a 2 to 3 inch measurement between your rearview mirror and your ability to see. And if you look at the rearview mirror, it has some small print there. I can't really see that well, which is why I'm always squinting. But I've learned to drive enough to know that what's stated there, irrespective of what your car is, what make, what model, what year, it says this: objects in the mirror will probably be closer than what they appear. So in driving school, you learn as you're driving 10-4, nobody does it, but we're learning to drive 10-4. See your life as this car. your program as this car, your vision as this car, your ministry is a car. It's supposed to move you from one place to the next. You got passengers, you got people in the background, you got accountability, which is your seatbelts, you got window shield washers, which helps you to regain your focus once storms come and when snow come. But I'm gonna tell you the most dangerous thing. It's not a broken windshield wiper, it's a broken rearview mirror. How many of us forgot that in order to drive, you've got to look over your shoulder before you change lanes? It's not just enough to rely on reflection. That's great. That's the starting point. But you've got to also look back, because there's a blind spot there. Something can creep up to you and it could mean life or death, a fatality. Thousands of car accidents around the world happen because people didn't see something speeding up on them in a blind spot. This is why it's absolutely critical to allow your pain to make you curious, passionate, focused, determined, committed to your potential. Then after we have that discussion, we've got to rely on weapons, relationships, conversations, situations that help us to see what we do not see. So we're starting with identity, and then we're committing to a life of learning, a life of reminding myself that if I have potential, I have no right to be academically exhausted. Now, I know that just hit a soft spot in a lot of you, but Dr. Stevenson is not telling all 30,000 of you to hurry up and go back and enroll in school. Probably 60 to 70% of you need to, but the rest of you, even if you're going to do non-traditional education, the point is you need to be learning something all the time. Think about a life that's not learning. You need to be learning whether your children have changed ages. Learning to parent an infant versus learning to parent an adolescent, not the same thing. Whether you've been married 1 to 5 years or 5 to 10. Well, the husband or the wife you were in years 1 to 5 should not be the husband or the wife you are from years 5 to 10. And the difference between your inability to love is that you're unwilling to learn. So as a spouse, as a mate, a part of me committing to my own potential is I'm learning who my spouse is now. I'm not just remembering who I met at the bodega or who I met at the coffee shop. I'm not just having sentimental and I'm not just having nostalgic butterflies about what I felt at the altar. I'm asking critical questions and I'm investigating. Who are you now? How have you changed? What's in your world? And I'm not going to assume that I know, because it's going to impact the depth of my love for you. The key is not just wanting to love. It's wanting to learn. And that's an issue of potential. Do you not see how this is panoramically impacting everything around you, everything about you? I don't care if you are a minister, if you are a president or a VP, if you are a banker, an insurance salesman, if you are committed to learning, your levels will be unmatched. You're going to find your way excelling everybody around you if you're going to always take advantage of the opportunity to learn. Now you're like, well, nobody's willing to teach. People don't have to be willing to teach for you to be willing to learn. I'm learning from people who don't know I'm learning from. I'm learning from people in situations and moments and epochs and eras in history that people don't even know. I'm sitting back watching, taking a historical purview at what's around me to find my opportunity at the future. So I don't need help all the time to learn. If I have help to learn, if I have support to learn, if I have coaching to learn, environments and rooms and spaces to learn, great. But I'm not going to sit back and wait for those moments to come and shake my hand and say, I'm divine opportunity. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for every reason to learn. I'm going to question everything. I'm going to prod. I'm going to probe. I'm going to assess. I'm going to evaluate. And if I see a mistake in another business, company, organization, church, leader, speaker, that mistake is not going to be useless. I'm not just going to let people make flaws and be human and run into errors around me and I not find profitability in it. Now, no, I don't want people to fail or fall, and I don't get excited when I get to see what people did not do the best they could do. But what I'm going to do is find a lesson in it. I'm going to make the people that I admire, the people that I aspire to be like, the role models, the voices, the images, and the people that shape history. I'm going to look at their mistakes and I'm going to make curriculum out of it. personalized, identified life curriculum, and I'm going to live out profitability because I studied, I learned, I observed. A part of what that means is that we're finding a continual line of thought. My understanding of my potential is this: I know who I am today. I'm willing to learn more because I have these cavities. Everybody that has potential is going to feel empty. I know there is so much more in me than this role, this position, this designation. So I have to learn my way into that manifestation. But here's where things get tricky. Even after you've learned it and you started to commit to learning it, one of the tricky things about potential is it's going to determine disciplines and habits. Disciplines and habits. Disciplines and habits. Those are two key powers that you have that you can employ at will. A new discipline, a new habit is the secret to a new level. If I can develop new disciplines and new habits, I can't not just look at that annually. I can't go until December 31st at 11:59 and say, these are going to be my brand new disciplines and my brand new habits. No, disciplines and habits are accountability for days. Monday needs a discipline and a habit. Tuesday needs a discipline and a habit. Wednesday needs a discipline and a habit. Thursday needs a discipline and a habit, so on and so forth. Well, Dr. Stevenson, what if I mess up? You can mess up and still be disciplined. What it means is that you recapture the opportunity to redefine the discipline, and you situate it in such a way where it's not just realistic, but it's also challenging, because real training is never at your level. Real training is supposed to exceed where you are, to grow you and to force, but also, here's our power word for tonight, provoke the growth that you need. I started a workout journey several years ago. I was not really athletic. I mean, I went to a military academy in high school, and so we did the running and the leaps, and I didn't really care for it. My family has athletic power. My dad played basketball in the military. My brothers are athletic, sisters athletic. It just wasn't me. I was the nerd that just read. But something changed. When I got married, I decided I was going to turn into this super bodybuilder, and she was just going to find me irresistible. I had this goal that I was going to go to the gym, and I'm talking about invisible ability. I was going to go into the gym, and I wasn't going to stretch, wasn't going to do no cardio. I was just going to go and find the biggest weight I could, and I was going to tell that weight, you're going to obey me. Boy, was I mistaken. I went in there and I had to realize that I probably need to scale back and grow up. Scale back and grow up. Scaling back was an honest assessment of where I currently am. This is my current weight, my current frame, my current structure. Okay. Now, I don't want to do something too easy. Do you have an addiction to easy? Is it very similar to your addiction to convenience? Do you want everything to work? And do you think that if it's hard, it's not for you? I wonder if that's why you're not really seeing your potential. So I started growing in this workout journey, and I learned the role of spotters, people that come behind you to help you lift heavily, more heavy than you could on your own. I also learned the role of reps. There are things you need to do in your life repetitively until you got life muscle memory. And then when that gets too easy, you make it complicated for yourself. You don't wait for a trainer to come and say, let's go. If they do, fine. But again, that's an amenity. You challenge yourself. I did this amount of weight last week. I did it well. Now it's way too light for me to gain, and way too light for me to change my muscularity and my physiological self. And so I increase my own weight. I'm challenging every person watching me. You are under a divine, strategic, timely, immediate, mandatory arrest to change your own weight. Whatever you were not able to do and finish and see and be in 2019 or in 2020, you got work to do, bro, sis. You've got work to do. And here's why. Every 3 to 4 years, the society goes through a major evolution. That's right. Go ahead, Google it, research it. Every 3 to 4 years, an organization is going to go through a necessary change and an overhaul and a facelift. And your society is going to change and evolve every 3 to 4 years. If that's happening, and you're not making complex opportunities to learn and to grow and to change and to do more and to make more and to achieve more, your society is leaving you behind. And while that might not mean anything to you, it should mean everything to your current economic status. It should mean everything to your current academic status. It should mean a lot for your children. Here's why. Your lid will become your children's prison. If you stop here, if you stop now, if you get too comfortable with rhythm and routine and you just want to stabilize the waters and never go out into some life adventure because you don't believe you're worth it, then you've not given your children a baseline to start off from. You've actually created and born them in an environment that's mundane. I think that some of us have a psychological attachment to monotony. We think that the more same and the more like and the more consistent something is, the more stable it is. But sometimes that's the greatest deception to all life. What would happen if Steve Jobs didn't take a risk? What would happen if Stevie Wonder didn't decide that his ear could hear a frequency and a tune that nobody? What would happen? Michael Jackson never decided that making a zombie video was worth trying it because nobody had done it before. I'm gonna tell you what would happen. We would not have history. We wouldn't have records. We wouldn't have something to look at and say, yo, it doesn't have to be like what it was. I can commit to my own potential in this way. So you got identity, you got learning. Here is where things get really odd, very uncomfortable and very sensitive. When you're dealing with your own knowledge of your own potential, at some point, you're going to plateau. Something's going to happen, whether it's a glass ceiling at a job, an emotional injury or fracture in life, a disappointment, sadness, grief, depression, anxiety, a financial loss, a relational loss. Something's going to happen where you're going to plateau. Now, there are many of you watching me right now. You're like, whoa, I really feel bad for people that are plateauing. Lord have mercy. The comical thing is the plateau principle. When you're dealing with potential, it's like carbon monoxide. You don't know you're there till you're dead. Nobody realizes that they've gotten stagnant or stuck. And by the time you have, you've probably been there a long time. So how do I get unstagnant? How do I get unstuck? Stop being afraid to start, and don't allow your culture or your enemies or your haters or your opponents or your fears or your past or your trauma or your stigmas. Don't allow them to convince you that starting over is bad. You will be starting over at a different level for the rest of your life unless you intend to stay at this level. So starting over is not bad. It's starting over at the same exact thing that's the problem. If you're starting over in something new, with a new mentality, a new perspective, a new challenge, a new role, a new goal to reach, and if you don't meet it and if you don't do it, don't mistake your potential for your performance. There's a lot of people performing that are not in their potential, and they live their lives like this big old theatric facade for people that are not paying attention to them. And I know thousands of people around the world that are living their life in performance to retaliate for people in the past, and they're penalizing people in their future because of things and criticisms and judgments that people from their past have made. But how are you going to live when you come into the harsh reality that they're not looking anymore? And now all you've got is the opportunity to commit to you. I'm not living my life in revenge or retaliation from those that said, I told you so, or you could never, or you would be never. I've got my own vision for my life and my future. I've decided that I want to be a textbook for my great-great-grandchildren. I want to be the lecture subject matter in universities around the world. And when my body is gone, my brain will still be here. And because that's my life goal, I've got work to do. You have work to do. If you found that you were in a place of plateau, there's a couple of things that you can do to unlock it, to break it, to let yourself loose from those restrictions and inhibitions and limitations and fears. There are things that you can change and things that you can start and things that you can stop in that vortex of warped comfortability. And after you've done that and discerned and decided what those are, here is your most important instruction. Repeat. Do it again. I know. Do it again. This is rehearsal for next year. Next year will be rehearsal for the following year. The following year will be rehearsal for that. And imagine if you don't take on this mandate or this mentality, what you're going to miss out on. I'm going to tell you what you're going to miss out on. The problem of potential, which is this. Potential is great, but it's only possibility. It is not reality. And we are not impacted by what you're capable of doing until you've done it. And we're not changed, and we're not driven, and we're not impacted by what you've got the desire to do. No. We're changed and transformed and challenged and impacted by what you've got the discipline to do. Go from desire to discipline and go from possibility to reality. Let's set up our world to accommodate what's in us. And if that means changing my schedule, changing my habits, changing my disciplines, you need to walk away from this night. I don't even want you to go to sleep until you've decided what you need to start and stop. Listen, to by any means live in protection of your potential. And if and when and where things come to threaten it, take it away, demean it, reduce it, dilute it, compromise it, fracture it, tear it, then you need to become monstrous. You need to become a beast, passionate. I will go to any means necessary to live out my potential. Because at the end of the day, if my relationships change, if my cities change, if my church changes, if my crowd changes, if my career changes, if my profession changes, when I go to bed at night, I have to lay down with somebody that you will never lay down with, and it's myself. How do you sleep at night? Knowing there's so much more in you than what you've been willing to commit to. My admonishment to you tonight, my provocative statement to you tonight is, what are you going to do about it? Certainly, you could be an amazing surgeon, an amazing professor. You got the makings of a beautiful wife. You've got all the utensils and the hardware and the internal fortitude and the intestinal bravery to be a historic husband. You got everything it takes for you to be an award-winning teacher, an educator, an advisor. You're one of the most amazing singers out there. You're a visionary. You care. You are a philanthropist. You enjoy helping people. You're not just a social worker. You're a heart changer, a story writer, a narrator of human experiences and pain. You reverse pathologies and principles in the lives of people that change generations. There's more to you. Now, the real problem is going to come when you have to determine what you have to lose to get to the more, what you have to discontinue to get to the more, what you have to learn to make unpalatable that used to taste good to get to the more. Commit to yourself. Then the rest of us will believe that you can commit to us. We're not persuaded and convinced because you've got a PowerPoint and some notes, and you return emails on time, and you're in a text group, and you understand the significance of Zoom, and you know how to present well. No, nothing is more powerful than a man or a woman that was committed to themselves. In a selfless way, commit to yourself. I'm not commissioning you to be selfish. I'm commissioning you to live a selfless life by being your best self. I know that sounds paradoxical and it sounds like a dualist theory, but it's really not. You see, when I become a better me, it's not just for me, it's for you. when I get good at what I do and I start to max out certain levels and then ferociously start to engage and devour bodies of information that's going to make me the master, the expert, the critical person that you need to hear to change your world. I didn't just do it because I want to feel better about myself. I don't need that to feel good about myself, but I do want to know that I've impacted you and changed you and aided in you. So we need to make a renewed commitment, a cohesive binding, a permanent joining. We need to sign like a destiny dossier to make sure that if anybody gives up on me, I'm not. And if anybody is not looking to test my skill depth and range and sight, I'm not. And I'm not going to sit by idle, not active, not focused, not disciplined, waiting for the moment for somebody to come and rescue me from monotony and average and the mundane. What I'm going to do is I'm going to venture off myself. And certainly I'm going to make some mistakes. I'm probably going to change this degree program. I may waste some money, but at the end of the day, it will be said that I went by any means necessary to all lengths, to all extents, to be everything I felt like I could be. I didn't know it. It was intuitive. I had a suspicion and inclining. I thought that there were some predispositions in me and some proclivities in me that could be distinct from those that are around me, but I didn't go to sleep knowing that they were there and snored my life away. No, I created a real world of exploration. And when it didn't work, I forgave myself so I could start again. This is the problem with potential. It's only possibility, but it only matters to us when it's reality.
Wow.
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 What do we say?
Oh my God. I mean, we told you guys that night 2 was going to be amazing, but I think we were even shocked with the content of night 2.
What do you say?
Listen, we saw you guys in the comment section just being hit by it, but we were hit as well. Listen, while we're here right now, while you're in this mode, we want to go over your homework really quickly. Really quickly, we want to go over your homework because we want to hit you while you in this phase of what just happened.
Yes.
You know, because this is the best time to kind of process through that stuff.
Yes, it's when it's fresh.
It's fresh. It's hot, you know. So we want to make sure that we want to go over this homework. So once again, the homework, the link is going to be up all throughout the post. So you're going to be able to see the link for where you should go for your homework. But we want to literally go through what the homework is and the questions for the homework. And Dr. Stevenson really kind of hit on a lot tonight, but one thing that he hit on that coincides with the homework is the areas for growth and that potential and that ability, you know,
right?
And he had a specific quote, Alexis, that I loved. We were talking about it. Give me that quote one more time.
No one is going to be able to commit to their invisible ability if they are in love with convenience.
No one is going to be able to commit to their invisible ability if they are in love with convenience. And then here's another thing that he said: the most powerful parts of you are the parts we can't see. I mean, So he hit on this information. So what we want to do is for your homework tonight, when you go to that page, it's going to give you something to do. So let's read that off. So tonight the homework is magnify my potential. Okay. And so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to text 1 to 3 people and ask them this question about yourself. Now, on the homework section, there's a question here, but we're going to give you a little bit of an addition to this question. So make sure you're paying attention and you write this down. So on the website, it says, when it comes to adding value to others, what do I do best?
Right.
Okay, which is important.
Right.
That's important. But Alexis, we want them to add a little something to that.
Right.
Because it's good to know what's best.
But you also need to know, what do I need to improve on?
Absolutely.
Right.
So what we want you to add for that homework. So write this down, even if, when you go there, you might not see it. Because, sometimes when we listen to Dr. Stevenson, we be like, oh, that's good. So we wanted to help y'all out. We heard him.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
We heard him kind of hit on this. And so we felt like this would be a great addition to the homework.
Right.
Okay. So ask 1 to 3 people, when it comes to adding value to others, what do I do best? But add, and what are some areas of growth?
Right.
What are some areas of growth? What are some things I can do to improve in this area? So that's your homework. Simply ask those 1 to 3 people and then record their responses.
Share them on your homework
Exactly.
page.
And share them in that homework page. Again, you just put your first name, you put your email, and then you insert the answers right there. Now, when you do that homework, something happens.
You will get a badge.
You get a badge, baby.
Now, listen, we have told you this, but we're going to repeat it. Don't just share the badge in the Facebook group just to say you did it. We want to hear your story. What did those 1 to 3 people text you back and say? Are you brave enough to be like, oh, well, when I asked someone about where I could improve with my potential, here's the truth of what they told me.
Absolutely. And what did you learn from what they said? Like, did you learn something new about yourself?
Right.
Because you could have had an encounter, or you could have gotten information in that moment that you didn't know. You never knew about yourself. And so you might have learned something new. So when you post that badge, don't just post the badge, be like, I did my homework, I'm done. But listen, we are cultivating stories here. Like we this is not just your average masterclass teaching, school work, I did it, I'm done. But we want to hear those stories, because those stories help us to see how necessary this is. It helps you to see it. It helps your classmates to see it. It helps us to see it. So we want you to share those stories when you do that homework. But post those badges.
Post your badge. We y'all, Little School, first of all, I'm still like mentally stuck.
It's okay.
I'm mentally stuck. My voice going out. I'm mentally stuck. From what Dr. Matthew Stevenson,
we was in the back like, oh my God, that's good.
Ooh, that's good. So we know this has hit you, but this is actually engaging in that next level. And what Dr. Matthew Stevenson talked about is challenging you to do something that you're afraid to do. And you, like you said, Jamal, you may actually hear something that you're really good at, that you really needed someone to tell you.
Absolutely.
You killed this, and I'm proud of you. So you never know what kind of responses you're going to get from homework.
You maybe never saw it, never noticed it, but just hearing that person really gives you more insight. So I think that's going to be amazing. Listen, we also want to remind you guys to share, okay? Now, night 1 was amazing. Night 2 was a knockout punch, and it is still not too late. In night 1, we went from 30,000 to 35,000 people signed up. Okay, so we want more people to be signed up.
We can get to like 40.
I think we can get to 40.
We can get to 40?
I really do think we can. So make sure that you are sharing this. You're sharing this. So make posts and make sure that you're, the videos that you post, or the comments that you post, the quotes, the little quotes. I done seen a lot of people on their pages putting quotes from the night. Put the Evolutionary Leadership or the Evolutionary Masterclass hashtag there, so that we can see those posts and we can know that you guys are posting. Because guess what?
What?
We watching.
We
are watching.
And speaking of watching, Jamal, I think that it's time for us to do another giveaway.
Because that's a benefit of the post show.
Yes.
That's a benefit of the post show.
Because the post show is where we get to just give gifts.
Yes.
And be nice.
Yes.
And do all the wonderful things. Y'all, the post show, not to say that the pre-show is not where it's at, but the post show, we want to show you again.
Here we go.
This deliciousness.
It's delicious.
Okay, now last time Jamal said that the women of God was going to wear pearls. with this shirt, and I have to I had to respectfully
She
disagree.
had to help me see that that's not okay.
But what can some of the guys who win this shirt wear with this?
See, now y'all might see how I do my shirt up on tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
But you know, you can do a nice little gold chain with it. You mentioned that earlier today. Okay, nice little gold watch to hint, you know, this
to bring out the gold.
Yes,
blinging
see,
on
because this evolutionary mascot is golden.
It's golden.
That's what we were trying to tell y'all with this shirt and with the branding, is that it's gold.
It's gold.
It's gold.
Living my life like it's gold.
So y'all might see a little gold on tomorrow when I
when you wear your shirt.
Yeah,
we're gonna check Jamal's outfit tomorrow, see what he has on,
and do it up.
But we want to shout out our next winner.
Yes, our winner. We want to shout them out.
So Miss Adrian Renee Edwards.
Let's go, Adrian.
Adrian, you are our swag winner. Miss Adrian Renee Edwards. You just won, girl.
You won. All right. Now, Adrian, make sure that you follow those instructions on the screen. Email that email address that is on the screen so that we can get your information and send that shirt to you. If you do not send that email, then we don't know where to send it. So, baby, it's going to be here. One of us going to be squeezing in that.
Squeezing scrolls in your shirt.
I don't know what size you wear, but I'm going to squeeze in it if you keep it here.
You can't do that.
I'm sorry. Okay. She got to send the email. So make sure, make sure that you send the email and send some congratulations to her. And again, this is why you need to use that hashtag.
Yes.
We're going to have 2 more winners tomorrow. So tomorrow you want to make sure that you come back, but make sure you're using that hashtag because we are watching.
We're watching.
Now, it was a lot of talking tonight. It was a lot of talking tonight, and we did, and a lot of people were blessed tonight. A lot of people, you know, were impacted tonight. So we saw a lot of people leaving comments. We saw a lot of people posting, a lot of people saying a lot of different things. And we wanted to shout a couple of you guys out.
Correct.
Because you guys said a lot of amazing things. And so one person that we want to shout out is actually Nathan Carter. Nathan Carter.
Come on, Nathan.
Nathan Carter says, I've been praying for the oh my God. Why can't I read on tonight? I've been praying for the provocation, to be honest. Someone who's not going to let me potential remain invisible. Let my potential remain invisible. Y'all pray for me because I'm still a little impacted by tonight, okay?
It's been tough.
But Nathan says, I've been praying for the provocation, to be honest, someone who's not going to let my potential remain invisible. Okay? Nathan does not want that potential to remain invisible. And tonight really provoked him and really encouraged him to go a little bit deeper. Y'all, you know, I got a little tongue tied because I was just so excited.
I still remember a nugget from last year that Dr. Matthew Stevenson said. Nobody cares about your potential.
That's what he said.
Oh, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's up to you to care. So listen, we have another comment by Miss Angela Cross, and she said, "The unwillingness to change is a death sentence. ... Lord, help the old dog with no desire to grow to shed." LOL.
Listen.
Yes.
Them old dogs can be stubborn sometimes.
Oh, they stay up longer than what they should.
That's they do. Yes, they do. Now, listen, that's why we want you guys to talk and comment in that comment section. We need y'all to know that y'all sometimes they don't believe that we watching.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they believe that we watch it. So make sure that you're in that comment section and that you are talking with us and talking to us so that we can get you guys, shout you guys out and get those comments. Now listen, tomorrow night is our last night.
It's our last night, Jamal.
It's our last night. We done had night 1.
We done had night 1.
We done had night 2.
Night 2.
But
the
tomorrow
pot roast
night
is marinating.
Is our last night. Now tell me, as you were going through the masterclass last year, and as this was kind of building up,
right?
What was your expectation for night 3?
My mind was already blown on night 1. Night 2, my cup just ran over. By the time I got to night 3 as a student, I think my expectation was I need more.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way that this can be it. Like I was just sitting there at the screen along with everybody else in the group. Like, wait a minute, where is the rest? Because this is, you know how sometimes you listen, you have podcasts, you like podcasts, and you just kind of listen to stuff that, you know, stir you. You listen to sermons, but you're ready to take action after night 3. And I think it is so important that as that student last year, I was like, whatever comes next, sign me up. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So Jamal, as a coach, once you got to night 3, what happened to you?
I think for me, it was so interesting on this end because, you know, we are ready to help and we're ready to encourage and ready to push, but we're sitting here getting blown away by this information.
So you getting it
And
double.
listen, and we still trying to, okay, guys, we here to help you, but I'm got the tears coming down my eyes, you know, because we're
Leader
still
school tissue. It's
we're-
coming
Listen, we're still with the logo on
with
it.
the logo.
We're still impacted and we're still being affected by this stuff. And
Right.
so I think for me, by the time we got to night 3, I was just so excited to see what people were going to do with this information.
Right.
You know, because it's like night 1, night 2, they really built up, but I was really eager to see what are people going to do with this information that we've been giving them. Are they going to sit on it and just kind of be like, okay, that was good? Or are they going to show that it's necessary for them to go to the next level? So that last year, I was really kind of eager and excited to see what they were going to do with that information that we gave them.
You know what's so funny that you say that, Jamal, because I think a lot of times online, especially those of us who, as Dr. Matthew Stevenson talked about tonight, committed to being lifelong learners.
Yeah.
We sign up for a lot of stuff.
We do.
We sign up for all kind of books. We have, you know, things we want to read. We have so many different things we want to do. But the problem is that we sign up for things and these courses and coaching and just all these things, but we don't commit because we've lost track of how important that investment is in ourselves. And so we just have a trophy case of things that we have just signed up for, put in unfinished projects. And you think about all that, again, wasted potential. And all that time that you're spending going, wow, I just signed up for another thing. And I had no thought. I got all hype in a moment, but I had no thought process as to how this was going to continue to change my life. And I think as a coach this year, I'm looking at, wow, I really get to help people walk through how this is going to transform them and really be revolutionary.
Yeah, for sure. And here's the thing. Y'all done made it tonight too. Y'all over halfway there. Okay.
Over.
So night 3, make sure you are here for night 3. Okay. Because you got through 1, you got through 2. So make sure you finish strong. I know that life happens sometimes. Sometimes we get stressed and we forget, but make sure that you are here for night 3. Remember, we start at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Right here. You can catch us on Facebook. We're on Zoom, YouTube, but make sure that you are here 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And here's another thing. Do not forget about those leader awards. And here's a little piece of clarification. I want you guys to know the people that we named off earlier,
they're not winners.
We told y'all the winners are announced on night 3. Night 3, we only on night 2.
These are just people that we have spotted.
They caught our eye.
Our attention.
They caught our attention. But listen, we ain't done. We still watching. We are still watching. So make sure for that class scribe, make sure for the neighbor award and for the rising leader award, those awards are still up for grabs. The people that we recognized tonight were just people that caught our eye. After night 1, they did some amazing things. They went above and beyond, but they are not our winners. Our winners are announced tomorrow night. And there is one winner for each award. Okay. There's one winner for each award. So definitely make sure that you are still putting in that effort to get that stuff in, to post those notes in the group, to be communal, to be active in the group, because we are still watching. Those awards are still up for grabs. So don't think that, oh man,
somebody done grabbed it.
Somebody done got it.
Gotta be quicker than that.
But tomorrow's also the last night of the challenge.
Tomorrow is the last night of the challenge. So tomorrow is, well, I won't say the last chance you have to win anything, but tomorrow is when everything comes to finality. So we want to make sure that you have between right now and tomorrow, which is a lot of time, to be able to continue to put your name in the hat, to be someone that we've seen. So the leaders that we shouted out earlier, you guys, they are people who we looked at and we went, wow, they really stepped it up. But you still have a chance to compete.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
It's all up for grabs.
And tomorrow is when we finally. Now, as a coach, I've been hearing about this. I've been hearing this for over a year now. When y'all gonna open up this school?
When y'all gonna open up leader school?
I missed it, and I'll just please, can you open the back door? Can you please just squeeze the back door open?
Squeeze me now.
Get on there. Tomorrow is the first time that we are going to open Leader School back up. Listen, y'all have been waiting for this. Y'all, a lot of people, they missed that first cohort, and they got FOMO. They started hearing it. They started hearing about all of the Dr. Stevenson did what, he taught what, the class did what. Oh my God. And so they've been waiting. We had a waiting list of people that just want to get into Leader School. And so tomorrow is going to be the first time in a very long time that we have opened up Leader School. So you want to be here tomorrow. For that opening. Talk to me about how, because you kind of went into this earlier, but how you felt on night 3 when it was like, all right, this is what I need to do.
So, like I said, I was sitting here with all this rich information. I had my workbook printed out, I had my pen, my paper. I was ready. I had my crew, I had my team, and I was like, I really want to do more. And when the opportunity and the understanding that Leader School was going to help me pace myself and walk through some of the material, understanding my pain, my trauma, helping with parents, helping continue to shape me as a leader, it was an opportunity I knew I could not miss. And it was something that I knew would be life-changing. And I gave it my all. And it was definitely so fun to sign up on that first night. And all of the rich and amazing experiences that I had a chance to get. You know how you start off doing something with people, but then you begin to realize this is for me.
Yeah.
And I did this for me. And because I dedicated myself so well, it was one of those things where I could immediately see a tangible difference. And let me just say this. Leader School is not like another thing that you just kind of sign up online and forget about it. And I talked about that earlier, but I am a nerd and I signed up for a lot of stuff. And I got like 5 or 6 different email addresses because I'm a millennial. So there are times where I sign up for things and just kind of forget. But Leader School was one of those things where every single night, every single time a new module opened, every single time we got ready to submit homework and we had people actually coaching us like you to hold us accountable, my life was changed. And I saw myself immediately getting a return on my investment. And sometimes I think when we sign up for stuff, we don't necessarily see the potential of what it turns into. It's just like, oh, I just wasted wasted some more of my money. But I was able to tangibly see, wow, I have really changed the way I thought within hours of digesting this module, of watching this video. And so being a student and now being a coach, I'm so happy that door was open and I'm excited.
Listen, and that same door is going to be open for you tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you're here. Listen, if you are going to be here tomorrow night, let us know in that comment. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Zoom, if you're on YouTube, let us know that you're going to be here. Come on, say, I'm there. I'm here.
I'm there.
I'm going to be there bright and early. Some of y'all, y'all be that when we click go on that Zoom, y'all be ready to go.
The comments.
Y'all be ready to go. Let us know that you will be there.
Oh, wow, look at this.
I'm loving it. I'm seeing it on Facebook. We're seeing it on Zoom. Listen, because we are excited. We're excited. Night 2 was amazing. Night 3 is going to be even better. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Listen, we hope you guys enjoyed tonight, and we cannot wait to see you tomorrow for Night 3, Evolutionary Leadership 2021.